Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is May 21st, 2017. It is a Sunday, so we want to take you to Trump's speech in Saudi Arabia. We just kind of picked on him a little bit. Now we want to tell you the speech itself was pretty good.
Exactly. Yeah, it was pretty good. So he tore apart terrorism. He tore apart radical Islam.
And I think Leah wants you guys to pay special attention to some faces. I'm guessing there's going to be some pausing going on.
They have, I don't even know, I don't know if they ever smile. Maybe when people blow up buildings or something, then they're happy because I've seen them in the streets. Smile. But the deadpan on this is just, I mean.
Beyond. Okay. Later today, we will make history again with the opening of the new Global Center for Combating Extremist Ideology, located right here.
Right here.
In this
the Global Center for Combating Radical Islamic Ideology is in Saudi Arabia.
Central part of the Islamic world. This groundbreaking new center represents a clear declaration.
The point is that none of these people care about, they are the radical. I got to tell you,
that Muslim majority countries must take the lead in combating radicalization. And I want to express our gratitude to King Salman for his strong demonstration and his absolutely incredible and powerful leadership. I've had the pleasure of welcoming several of the leaders present today to the White House, and I look forward to working with all of you. America is a sovereign nation, and our first priority is always the safety and security of our citizens. We are not here to lecture. We are not here to tell other people how to live, what to do, who to be, or how to worship. Instead, we are here to offer partnership based on shared interests and values to pursue a better future. Here at this summit,
فهنا في هذه القمة سوف نناقش المصالح كثيرة
But above all, we must be united in pursuing the one goal that transcends every other consideration.
He does not look happy.
That goal is to meet history's great test, to conquer extremism and vanquish the forces that terrorism brings with it.
Do you see any nodding? Like I nod when I'm talking to anybody.
Young Muslim boys and girls should be able to grow up free from fear, safe from violence, and innocent of hate.
He's asleep, dude.
When young Muslim men and women should have the chance to build a new era of prosperity for themselves, it has to be done, and we have to let them do it. With God's help, this summit will mark the beginning of the end for those who practice terror and spread its vile creed. At the same time, we pray this special gathering may someday be remembered as the beginning of peace in the Middle East.
I have to stop this. I've listened to this a few times through.
It's almost painful.
And it only works when everybody else is on board the train.
Right. Like this is the time
we're going to mark this as a special, and you have to get people like, yes, we're going to do it. We're together.
Let's pretend we're at a Trump rally.
Right.
Same speech. This is the time where everybody goes, yeah!
Exactly. It's like, yes, and even though you have translators, you're like, yes, we want to do this. We want to combat radical terror. These people don't want to. It's kind of like, nope. Nope. Every time, like when I look at their face, with everything
inside, they're going,
nope. They can't. When you listen to somebody, even when you're sitting there, like at a commencement speech, or you're listening to somebody, you kind of just nod. Kind of nod when you know.
And they're nodding off.
They are purposefully not nodding, like,
no, no.
Maybe even all over the world.
Maybe.
But this future can only be achieved through defeating terrorism and the ideology that drives it.
Nope. They're saying
few nations have been spared the violent reach of terrorism. America has suffered repeated barbaric attacks, from the atrocities of September 11th to the devastation of the Boston bombings to the horrible killings in San Bernardino and Orlando.
Happy about that.
The nations of Europe have also endured unspeakable horror. So too have the nations of Africa and South America.
When is dinner?
India,
That's what
Russia,
they're thinking, right?
China, and Australia
I just came here for the
have
food.
all been victims. But in sheer numbers, the deadliest toll has been exacted on the innocent people of Arab, Muslim, and Middle Eastern nations.
Hang on, I want to pause this like
They have
right here. We've all seen the EU. We've all seen the United Nations and how they sit and they have an... It don't look like this, all right? This is what the petrodollar in Saudi Arabia affords, okay? These nice, everybody gets their own gigantic presidential desk.
Like a 1,000-pound person.
Okay? Everybody gets their own nice fancy desk, as if they work there every day. I mean, actually, some of them probably do go there.
It's a palace because it's a kingdom and a king.
I mean, listen, you don't... It's not that the EU can afford that stuff or the UN can afford that stuff and they just don't. They can't afford that stuff. And they got all this money and they're stealing it and they're using it to fund terrorism.
People don't get to say. I mean, at least in the EU, people do talk about how much they waste their money.
Right.
Borne the brunt of the killings and the worst of the destruction in this wave of fanatical violence. Some estimates hold that more than 95% of the victims of terrorism are themselves Muslim.
I wonder why.
We now face a humanitarian and security disaster in this region that is spreading across the planet.
The planet.
It is
Look
a
at that guy's
tragedy
face.
of epic proportions.
Ivanka doesn't look
No
like
description of the suffering
Dad?
and depravity
Dad.
can begin to capture its full measure. The control of ISIS, if you look at what's happening, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Hamas, and so many others must be counted not only in the number of dead, it also must be counted in generations of vanished dreams. The Middle East is rich with natural beauty, vibrant cultures, and massive amounts of historic treasures.
Go just a little bit forward here.
To that ancient heritage. All over the world, people dream of walking through the ruins of Petra in Jordan. Oh, what will happen and what will be the end result? Terrorism's devastation of life will continue to spread. Peaceful societies will become engulfed by violence, and the futures of many generations will be sadly squandered. If we do not stand in uniform condemnation of this killing, then not only will we be judged by our people, not only will we be judged by history,
Does anybody nod their heads?
but we will be judged by God.
This is cool.
This is not a battle between different faiths, different sects,
It's a battle between
or different civilizations. This is a battle between barbaric criminals who seek to obliterate human life and decent people, all in the name of religion. People that want to protect.
That is so powerful.
Right.
Obama would never say that.
Right.
He just said people are doing this in the name of religion.
Right.
Okay, this is so powerful. This is such a great speech.
Life and want to protect
They
their
don't like
religion. This is a battle between good and evil. When we see the scenes of destruction in the wake of terror, we see no signs that those murdered were Jewish or Christian, Shia or Sunni. When we look upon the strains of innocent blood soaked into the ancient ground, we cannot see the faith or sect or tribe of the victims. We see only that they were children of God whose deaths are an insult to all that is holy.
This is not my day.
But we can only overcome this evil
That guy's recording it
if
anyway.
the forces of good are united and strong, and if everyone in this room does their fair share and fulfills their part of the burden. Terrorism has spread all across the world, but the path to peace begins right here on this ancient soil in this sacred land.
This is really uncomfortable for everybody.
America is prepared to stand with you in pursuit of shared interests and common security.
We're prepared.
But the nations of the Middle East cannot wait for American power to crush this enemy for them. The nations of the Middle East will have to decide what kind of future they want for themselves, for their country, and frankly, for their families and for their children. It's a choice between two futures, and it is a choice America cannot make for you. A better future is only possible if your nations drive out the terrorists and drive out the extremists. Drive them out. Drive them out.
That's painful.
Of your places of worship.
Look at this guy.
Drive them out of your communities.
Whoa.
Drive them out of your holy land. And drive them out of this earth.
Nope. Nope.
For our
Do you see them?
part,
They're going to blow up.
America is committed to adjusting our strategies
some of
to
them are
meet
probably
evolving threats and new facts. We will discard those strategies that have not worked and will apply new approaches informed by experience, talent, and judgment.
Okay. All right, so we have to sign off.
Drive them out.
But
drive them out.
Whoa, wow. All right, so I'm feeling it. That was a very powerful speech. I don't know how effectual it was.
It was effectual to me because the whole world heard it.
Right.
So this is why I'm bringing two sides of the two videos, right? Yeah. So the one is Saudi Arabia is the hotbed. They are the seat of terrorism in the world.
Pretty much.
Okay, you have Iran, but Saudi Arabia has all the money to do it, right?
Yes.
So I got to show you that. And so why did Trump go to Saudi Arabia? Why did he have good relations? Why did he... I don't know. I can't tell you all that. But he got himself in there, and for the first time in American history, somebody from our country has sat down with them and whooped their tushies. This was a verbal lashing. He goes on to talk about women's rights. Listen to the whole speech if you want to get fired up. I mean, this was a Donald Trump speech. Obviously, they weren't up standing cheering because this was against them. That was against their ideology, because if you turn on the Al Jazeera, if you turn on Arabic TV, if you turn on and listen to the imams, he's talking about their ideology.
Right.
It is.
And I have to tell you, as President of the United States, you always have a target on your head. So to take yourself into a place where pretty much like everybody in that room would not care if you were blown up or killed or whatever, I think it was a very brave step for him to take this hardline stance.
So Donald Trump, this was a great speech. You know, I went back and forth on it, but then, like, Twitter blew up. Like, this was Donald Trump going in there and delivering the goods. Yep. He dropped the anti-Islamic radicalism, whatever you want to call it, bomb. And we'll see where it goes from here. But he's doing what he needed to do. He said what he needed to say. He got it off his chest in his best way as he could. I mean, he had people writing his speech, carefully doing his words. It was way scaled down, but he didn't turn his back on what he believes.
Exactly.
And this is what he believes. I mean, people wonder about Donald Trump. They're like, what does he really believe? And, you know, it
would have been a lot easier for him to just go in and just kind of placate and whatever, just make sure that they are just happy and whatever. And he didn't. He put down his agenda.
His quote, art of the deal. This was pretty harsh.
Yep.
So, and then but the thing of it is, he's saying we have to work together for this. They're saying they're going to have a system. They're saying they're going to have and you know
I don't think it's going to happen.
Sometimes it's kind of like with Obamacare. He said he was going to let it implode. He's going to let it implode.
Right.
He's like, I can't do anything about this.
Right.
The President of the United States can't do anything about the Islamic ideology.
Right.
But he can go in and he can speak for the little people who can't speak out. So great job, Donald Trump.
Well
I'm with you 100%. This was a great speech, even though it was hard for me to watch you dance the dance with the saber.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but watch the other one.
Please don't do that again. Please don't do that again.
All right, you guys, this is Leah and Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless.
I was cold, all alone, no place for